Hi, let's talk about what makes a good search for the Lexis search box. At this point, when we're just starting out to look into a legal issue, we want to put in some terms that help explain that legal issue, but we want to stay away from a lot of factually specific things to our particular issue that we're working on. So stay away from the facts and just hit things that discuss the actual law. So we've got a Fourth Amendment issue here on whether or not we can use cell phones, locations, and the cell phone towers. And we want to know as much about the law on cell phone location regarding the Fourth Amendment that we can find. So you can see that I've just put in terms here. I haven't put anything between my terms, just the words themselves. And again, I've left out any facts that talk about my specific issue. Leave out the facts and just focus in on that issue or that big law that you're trying to work through and learn about. When I type something in like this with nothing in between my terms, we're asking Lexis to bring back search results based on relevancy, but every single term that I've entered may not be in every result. And this is actually a really good first search because we're not sure if each result will mention cell phone towers. We just want to know what's out there based on relevancy, bring me back the best results that talk about these issues. And I can go ahead and run the search. It comes to my cases database, and from here, of course, I can narrow down. Let's go back and make this search a little more specific. I can choose the search again, and now I can put some things between my search terms. So when I put in the words like and, I'm now saying I need Lexis to find results that have the word cell phone and location and tower and Fourth Amendment. Now I can quote things if that makes sense to you. That will keep your phrases together, but be very careful because it's not going to look for any changes like Fourth Amendments, or it's going to look exactly for what's inside your quotes. Now, Lexis actually knows a lot of legal phrases like Fourth Amendment, so you don't actually have to put quotes around specific things that you're pretty sure Lexis knows, but you always can and it won't hurt anything. So I could quote cell phone and I know it'll always look for cell phone, but again, I won't be finding mobile phone when I do that. So now I want cell phone and location and tower and Fourth Amendment in my result set. Each of those phrases and terms needs to be in my result set. And if I back up, we'll try this one more time. And this time I'm going to change my ands to /Ps. This means I want cell phone in the same paragraph as location, in the same paragraph as tower, and also somewhere in my document, the Fourth Amendment. So now we're saying I need cell phone, location, and tower. All those terms need to be found in the same paragraph or /P. I could be more specific now and make this /S, which of course you bet you can guess means same sentence. So all of these need to be in the same sentence. That's a very specific search, and I rarely use /S because it's so specific and I'm really limiting the amount of results I get back when I use it. But sometimes you do want something as narrow as same sentence. Also, you'll see a lot in the firms that sometimes they use numbers instead of /S and /P. So they may say, I want these within 500 words and this within 100 words. You can see that that's a variable, so I can make it any number I want, but just know that we want to try to think about how many words will be, these terms will be within each other. So I want cell phone within 500 words of location, within 1,000 words of tower. That's pretty broad. I could narrow it and be more specific to something like this, right? And that would be more like a sentence. So we've got all these options that you can use to help make your terms more specific because they need to be closer together in proximity. And we've got our search results here. Now, don't forget, I can quickly see a lay of the land by showing my Ravel view and seeing where these cases are and which are the most influential cases based on the search I ran. So use your Ravel view to get a quick lay of the land and find out which the most influential cases are based on the terms you typed in. Now let's go back to the beginning, and I'm going to give you another advanced search connector that is very helpful. I've got a connector here called At Least. I use it a lot. It's a connector I can use when I want to see specific terms mentioned in my result set multiple times. So by saying at least 4, it means I want cell phone, which is in parentheses, to be in my documents at least 4 times. So I'm taking a word like cell phone and making sure there's some discussion about cell phone because it needs to be in there at least the number of times I say. 4 is a variable, so I could make it any number I want, but just be careful. If we make that number too high, like 7, I may be missing out on some cases where cell phone's not mentioned 7 times. I can even put more terms in here and say I want some good discussion about cell phone and location. Those terms, cell phone and location, must be mentioned at least 3 times in documents that also discuss the Fourth Amendment. Now, I'm going to come back to the beginning and remind you that this at least, we call it a segment. And if you want to know some of these other tricks, like at least, you can always go to your help tab. So I'm going to open help right now, and it's going to ask me, well, what type of help do you want? I want legal research help. And it will break down what I was just discussing regarding terms and connectors and natural language. And it's even going to say, do you have specific questions? Yes, I want to know more about these segments, or I want to know more about using terms and connectors so we can get a page that tells us more about what I've just been talking about in this lesson. I like to go to my specific segment page, and Lexis will tell me these are the segments available that I can use. So when searching case law, I can put in a segment like summary and search the summary of cases. For my terms, I can put in outcome and search only the outcome section or the judges. So these are different connectors that I can use, or segments that I can use to help make my terms more specific because they need to be found in a specific part of the document. And these are the codes, that segments that I can use, and so on. For secondary materials, I have these different segments, and segments are always listed the way that I just showed you. So if I come back, I could change this to summary, and now cell phone and location need to be found in the summary of a case. So that's the format for them. Thanks, and if you have more questions, just let me know. I'm here to help you with creating better searches.